Well, on Diane Sawyer, ABC's 2020, Bruce Jenner came out after 60 years as a transgender. He officially came out as a transgender. And so this has to be dealt with because he is an American icon, and so we can't ignore his declaration. 1976 decathlon, he set a world's record. He beat number 2 by 200 points. I mean, that record was really up there. And he knew when he was 5 years old that he was different. He knew that he was sexually different than his genetic gender. There's two things happen when a baby comes along. Number one, as soon as the sperm fertilizes the egg, you're going to be either an XX female or an XY male. Okay? But then there's a development that takes place of the preoptic hypothalamus, a little kind of peninsula up in the middle of your brain, about the size of the last digit of your little finger. And it's like about, I don't know, maybe less than an inch long, maybe less diameter than, again, your small finger. And as it develops over the 3rd to 7th week of pregnancy, it determines who you're going to chase for sex and who you're going to receive overtures from for sex. Okay? If you don't have enough cells in there because your mama was missing something during pregnancy, you can be an asexual person, kind of like crazy Aunt Ruthie, who died a spinster at 92, never went on a date. Crazy Uncle Frank, who died at 92, never went on a date. And these are people you enjoyed in your family because they were great cooks, and they would babysit your house when you went on vacation. But they just didn't have any interest in the opposite sex or the same sex. They just had no interest in sex. And then if you have a few more cells in that preoptic hypothalamus, you could wind up being a bisexual, and you don't care who you have sex with, you just like orgasms. And then if you have a few more cells, and there may be 50 to 100 cells in there, and they're all sort of by chance leaning towards one side of that little piece of the brain, you're going to chase females. Now, if you're a boy, that's good, but if you're a girl, you're going to be a lesbian. And then if these cells are all on the side that says chase boys, and you're a girl, that's good, but if it says chase boys and you're a boy, you're a gay male, okay, you have that challenge. And then, of course, you have the transgenders, one who they know when they're little kids that it's more than being gay or lesbian because they are they can father children. Bruce Jenner had, I don't know, 4 marriages. He had 10 children. So some very upscale people, the Kardashians, you know, this is high-profile stuff. And had fathered 10 wonderful children. And this has nothing to do with genetics. It has nothing to do with choice. I'll repeat that. Being a lesbian female, a gay male, transgender, or bisexual, this has nothing to do with choice. It has nothing to do with genetics. It has to do with things missing in the mother's diet during the 3rd to 7th week of pregnancy when this part of the brain, the preoptic hypothalamus, is forming. Now, it's kind of interesting that the federal government, a.k.a. President Obama, and the State Department have appointed a U.S. Special Envoy for Human Rights of lesbian, gay men, bisexuals, and transgenders. Okay, this is the first time an office of this status has been formed in any country in the world. The first individual to take this post for the State Department is Randy Berry, who's a transgender himself, and it's one of those things where there's all kinds of fights all over the world on these sorts of sexual differences, and people want to believe, even the transgenders themselves, even the bisexuals themselves, even the gay men and the lesbian women have declared that they're making a choice. They're not making a choice. They're driven by the changes in the brain. Now, when you have enough cells in the preoptic hypothalamus, you're going to be a straight person. You're going to be a straight guy, straight woman. Okay, you're going to be a standard person who chases the appropriate sex, the opposite sex from yourself. Okay. Now, what I recommend as a scientist here, and taking no sides, is that if you want to reduce the risk of having a child with these sexual differences, what you do is you take all 90 essential nutrients for at least 6 months before pregnancy. When you have a young couple who's getting engaged, you get a young couple who's getting married, don't give them a $100 gift certificate. Don't give them towels monogrammed with their initials. Don't give them a linen set for their house. What you do is you put them on auto ship for the 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids for at least a period of 3 to 6 months before they get married, right? And this is going to give them all the essential nutrients they need to reduce the risk of a congenital event, whether it's Down syndrome, whether it's cerebral palsy, whether it's a sexual difference. All these things are preventable.